Hello, I'm Don Hammock, Sports Information Director at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. Thank you for joining us here on Bulldog Blitz, the second episode of the 19th season. It's a great episode. Gulf Coast, a 58-7 dominant victory over Mississippi Delta here at A.L. May Memorial Stadium. We're going to talk with Coach Jack Wright, offensive lineman Omarion Bender, and tight end Cruz Johnson, who made a big special teams play. After that, we'll introduce you to linebacker Taurean Davis when we play 10 questions. And then we'll talk with men's soccer coach Chris Handy about his 2025 Bulldogs. Stick around. Here on the field with Mississippi Gulf Coast head coach Jack Wright. Jack, that was a lot of points, a lot of offense. What'd you see out of it tonight, 58-7 win?
Just, kind of a different kind of game than I'm used to. Just, things kind of came easy, sometimes a little too easy it seemed like. And I think when that happens, you kind of lose your focus on fundamentals, and it's about, who's getting what touch or whatever, which is not really what we're about here. But it was a good game. Anytime you get a win at home, we're going to take it.
I think you showed some of the stuff that you've already, you showed last week. Y'all are explosive. You had, Landon Barnes complete 6 of 9 passes for 250 yards. That's 40 yards a pop. You've got that in your toolbox, I think.
We do. We've got, we recruit speed, and hopefully it shows up during the game. I think it did tonight. Some of those throws that we made were kind of meant to be possession-type throws, get to the sticks-type throws, and they just turned into something a lot bigger. So just a credit to the caliber athlete we have on the edge.
What did you see out of your running game? I thought at times y'all ran the ball pretty well too.
We did. We just we want to do a variety of things. We never want to lock ourselves in a box and be, a running team or a passing team. We want to do everything we do well. And, we able to punch it in a couple times in the run game on top of the passing numbers.
Defensively, they actually pitched a shutout. The only score for them was on a fumble return. What did you see out of them? Like you said, I thought sometimes they lost a little focus, but otherwise, you throw a 0 up there. That's good.
I mean, that's just a great job by our defense, just smothering performance. No sustained drives, no sustained momentum. Some negative plays, some things that put them behind the sticks. We were able to blitz and put some pressure on the quarterback when we got in those moments.
They did have a decent run that got him inside the 5-yard line, and y'all bowed your neck and kept him out of the end zone.
Yeah, that was a great play. I can't remember who made that shoestring tackle, but that saved, a touchdown. So, we emphasize playing really hard here, finishing the play. That was a great example of somebody hawking that running back down and not letting them score.
One thing we talked about this week was getting more guys out there and getting them reps and things like that. Were y'all able to do that tonight?
Yeah, that was priority number one, is playing everybody. You see Connor Tice got in a lot. 5 different running backs had carries. A lot of different receivers caught balls. Our tight end caught a ball. Jordan Whittle caught a ball for a touchdown. So just very, very pleased with all those things. We're going to need everybody on that roster, for us to achieve our goals at the end of the year this year.
Next week is a different beast. It's the first South Division game, and it's going to be a much greater challenge than tonight was. What are you expecting?
We're in the South Division next week. We all know in this conference what that means. You're going to be playing a tough opponent every time you go in division. The South Division in JUCO in Mississippi is the toughest division in all of JUCO. So we get that start kicked off next week at Jones. So there's not really a tougher contest that we can look down the road and prepare ourselves for.
Thanks a lot, Jack. Congratulations. Here on the field with Omarion Bender from Soso, Mississippi, halfway between Buttermilk Crossing and hot coffee. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
You guys threw up 600 yards of total offense tonight. What was the mindset coming in here for the O-line?
Man, we come in every game just hoping to dominate. We watched a lot of film this week to make sure we knew what we was doing. And ultimately, man, the quarterback had time to make plays. Receivers got open.
Yeah, y'all had a ton of explosive plays. I mentioned to Jack, Landon was 6 of 9 for 252 yards, which is like, 40 yards a pop.
Yeah.
What'd you see when y'all were throwing the ball?
Oh, man, receivers wide open, ball in the air. They didn't send too much pressure tonight, but the little stunts that they did send, we picked it all up.
Now we'll talk about things that you guys really like. The run game, y'all were able to run it, I think, a little more effectively tonight. What happened up there up front with that?
Man, we was just dominant. Like I said, we come into every game wanting to be dominant, and you know what I'm saying, the scouting report worked, so we came in and just dominated.
What'd you see out of the regulators tonight? What'd the defense do for y'all?
Oh man, they had some great plays. Punt block, crazy. They came in and they handled business tonight, man. Doing what they usually do. They're supposed to do.
So you know what next week's going to be like. It's going to be a lot different game for y'all. Got Jones as the first South Division game. What are y'all thinking about already getting ready for that?
Just got to lock in on the road. You know what I mean? Like I said, just got to watch film, see what they're doing, and go over there and dominate like we do every week.
Congratulations, Omarion.
Appreciate it.
Here on the field with Cruz Johnson from Canton Academy. Cruz, special teams beast tonight. You got a punt block and return, scoop and score. What happened on the play?
We were just set up for our block as usual, and I saw an alley and I hit it. Did everything Coach Wright's been teaching us to do, execute, go fast, hard, and it worked out for us.
You might have a spot on the basketball team. You picked up that dribble pretty easy and were able to run in there.
Yes, sir. Hopefully there's a spot open.
What's the idea on special teams for y'all? How are y'all trying to attack teams?
Coach Wright has our special teams is fast, physical, get your job done, and do what needs to be done. Just execute.
You like playing on special teams?
Oh, yes, sir. I love it. I just love getting on the field.
What'd you see out of y'all's offense tonight?
Our passing game was there. It was there all night, and we beat them by that. That's all we really had to do.
You get to look at the regulators too. What'd you see out of that defense?
Oh, they were stop all night. All night. They played great.
You guys had an easy night tonight. Next week's going to be a lot different. You know much about Jones at this point?
I know they're a pretty solid team, and we'll have a good game next week. That's for sure.
Congratulations, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Royale Shelby was the Ely Guild Hardy player of the game with his 2-touchdown performance, including a 94-yard score. At Ely Guild Hardy, we create designs that stand the test of time. View our work at ElyGuildHardy.com.
There's a bond here you won't find anywhere else, and it's for life.
Big-time SEC experience in a small town y'all are gonna love.
Connecting hundreds of thousands of Bulldogs across the globe.
Preparing to be leaders in cybersecurity, meteorology, interior design, healthcare, and so much more.
One visit is all it takes. Just come for a day and you'll be a Bulldog for life.
Change your life. Change the world.
We've got a good 10 questions coming up for you now with Taurean Davis, the sophomore linebacker.
My name is Taurean Davis, and I grew up in a small town called Lambert, Mississippi. It's between Lambert, Marks, and Batesville. It's the 3 places I travel from, and everybody knows Batesville for South Panola, but people sometimes look over Lambert and Marks. I went to a little elementary school called Madison Shannon Palmer, and that's my dad coached for 11, 12 years, and my mom was a nurse over in one of the hospitals over there in Marks. And I just traveled from back to forth. I had one side of my family in Lambert and the other side in Marks. So Quitman County is the whole thing, so I like to say I'm from Quitman County because I grew up in both. It's a small little town. Since I could walk, I got a picture in my phone. I scroll up to see it sometimes. It's when my dad played at Delta State, and I wasn't more than 4 or 5 years old, and I had his green helmet on. And I used that helmet when I played Little League football. That was when I was 7 or 8. I played for a team called the Marks 49ers. I still got the jersey. It's in my room right now. Why don't I love football? I mean, it gives me an outlet, for all the, if I get stressed out, I can just go to practice. If I get angry, I can just go to practice. If I'm happy, I can just go to practice. It's like, this too shall pass. Football is my way of passing things, if that makes sense. Coach Shufield, man, I've never in my life met somebody like Coach Shufield. He came down to see me when I was doing physical therapy one day, and he had on khakis, his blue and kind of brown boots, like kind of yellow, in this blue shirt with a big M on it and a cowboy hat. I said, yeah, I'm going there. I figured it out. I didn't really even scope out any other JUCOs. It was the bond that we had from the beginning. We're like kind of the same person, just in different fonts. So it was an easy decision. I probably have to say, even though I struggled in it a little bit, I'd probably say calculus, because it was the first college class that actually pushed me to use like more percentage of my brain. And you don't really get that in some JUCOs in Mississippi, but that class and Miss Bush, she really helped me out and helped me through it. I probably have to say Chris Stapleton on that one, because he long days on the ranch, I just want to lay back, and whoever's on my playlist, usually when Chris Stapleton comes on, I go to a playlist about him, and it just gets me through it. Baby back ribs. Oh God, I love ribs. A ranch hand, cowboy, 100%. I look at it as the same thing as football, because if you're taking an angle to cut off a cow to keep it from going in this gate and you want to go in this gate, it's just like making a tackle. So I mean, it's a lot of the same principles, and it keeps you humble. Like every morning, it keeps you disciplined. You got to feed every morning, and then maybe you have to break a coat this day, and then the next day you got to ride around the property and see if anything needs fixing. I mean, it's not an easy life, it's a good life. Probably Batman. Batman, because he's a regular guy, he's got a lot of money. And it's Batman. It's Batman. Ooh, I love Rudy. Rudy's a great movie. It shows the underdog scene of it. And like that's undersized, playing in the big leagues. I mean, what can you not like about Rudy?
Caleb Arterberry had the J.W. Puckett Construction big hit of the game with this quarterback hit. J.W. Puckett Construction are pioneers in construction excellence with a legacy dating back to 1969. Go to jwpuckettconstruction.com.
Let's talk with men's soccer coach Chris Handy about his 2025 Bulldogs, who are off to a great start, ranked 7th in the country.
I'm Chris Handy, the men's soccer coach here at Gulf Coast. We started the year off well, at 3-0. We have a hard-working team. It's a team that knows they need to work really, really hard in order to achieve their goals. Our goals are always big. We want to be the last team playing, and to do that, we know there's a lot of work to do. And so far, the boys have been up for the challenge. So we're trying to continue to get better. The early part of the schedule has been tough. It'll continue to be tough. The purpose of that is to kind of build some character as we get into conference play. Our team definitely, have to keep an eye on the defensive work. We're still trying to figure out how we're going to consistently score goals, but we still need to win games in the process. So part of that means, being real attentive to now not allowing goals, and we've done that so far. So we'll continue to try to hang our hat on the defensive side as we try to find some consistency in front of goal. Our two keepers, Xavier and Omarion, both of them have come in ready to go. Both of them are very, very similar, super athletic, can make big saves. Again, they've been lights out so far, and we look forward to them to continue to grow with the team. And I think that both of them have shown the ability to allow us a chance to win, which is all you can really ask from a goalkeeper. Defensively, we've been pretty strong, between Tobias and Stewart and Dorian, who has really stepped up lately in the last couple of games. We feel really confident that we can, put a back line together that's going to limit opportunities for the opponent. Then there's always Nico, right? Nico was, an all-conference player a year ago. He's, started exactly where, he finished off. He's so important to us. The running joke is he just doesn't get a sub. He's a 90-minute player for sure. So dynamic getting forward, such a lockdown defender. We're really blessed to have him out wide for us. Our midfield starts with Mink, as he was a center back a year ago, was an All-American years ago as a center back. The plan for him was always to move forward as his sophomore year began, and so far it's paid dividends. He's got 2 game-winning goals early in the season. To have such a defensive-minded presence who can still go forward and be dangerous is really not heard of very often. So, we see him as one of the best players in the state. And we look forward to continue to use him in multiple ways to help us win games for sure. Aiden Owens, who is an incoming freshman, has been really good for us. He can play in the middle, he can play in the back. He's hard-nosed, he's no nonsense. He can make good tackles, he can complete his passes. He's a well-rounded player who's really important to us. I think you have to talk about, Tobias in the midfield as well, just because, he started to play some minutes there and do really well for us. Our midfield is still going to be by committee. Michael Beatty, as another incoming freshman, has come in and shown his worth early as someone that we can use in multiple positions. He knows how to play the game, he's technical, he can create opportunities as well as be a defensive-minded presence as well. So that's really important to our team to have kind of two-way players, guys who can join the attack as well as defend for us. And having him play in the midfield some as well has been, has helped us, keep shutouts as well as, create opportunities. I think Vincenzo is, it's hard to really, quantify what he means to us, as a guy that I know can solve lots of problems for us, going forward, can help us get out of the back in the midfield. Lots of experience from a year ago. He's going to be someone that we rely on as the year continues to get old. But we definitely have a lot of trust in him and his ability to be impactful in games. Our forwards are still kind of by committee at this point. I think having Pedro as an incoming freshman, is important as he, kind of gets his feet wet in our league. As a player that's technical and can take players on, and we look forward to him kind of growing into the season. I think, HT as a third-year player after missing last season has come in and been everything we wanted him to be a year ago. As a super athletic, dangerous player, he was really, really good in the pro game. As important as just about anyone is winning headers and working hard and allowing us to connect the midfield with the attacking players. So he's definitely one that, will continue to have his name heard with regards to, who's helping us win games. Trey, dynamic player who can score goals, who can take players on, who's got pace. He gives us something, out wide that is very, very important to us as a player that just the defense has to worry about for sure. Wyndon Watley, I think this is his 5th year. He's been with us a long time. It's almost as he never left. Was a captain when he was here as a player. Stayed connected with the program once he went to 4-year. He knows the history of the program. He knows, how we win. He knows how we lose. And just having his mindset and his work ethic is really important to us. He's a player, he's a coach that the players can really go to and kind of have their voices heard. He's got good ideas. His game prep, I think, is as good as anybody's in the state for sure. He's one that, without him, we don't win as many games as we do for sure. So I'm definitely grateful to have him by my side. The conference is going to be as tough as it always is, if not a little bit tougher. Obviously having, Jones and Pearl River and Gulf Coast, we're always going to have our names heard. I think, for the last few years, I think it's 3 or 4, maybe longer than that, it's always been Gulf Coast, Pearl River, or Jones in the final. But Itawamba's getting a lot better. Their early season start has been pretty impressive. Hines is as dangerous as anyone with their athleticism. East Central gave us a really, really tough game. So it's going to be a very, very tough year. So my hope for our group is that, you know, with the early season tests, that they understand how hard they have to work in order to win each and every night. You know, so I think, you know, nationally, the respect for our league continues to grow. You know, teams have done really well outside of our league so far early on. And so our job is to try to keep pace and keep working and try to stay just ahead so that we have a chance to win in the end.
That'll do it for this episode of Bulldog Blitz. We'll be coming to you next week from Ellisville when Mississippi Gulf Coast has a big showdown with Jones. See you next time.